Streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production, starring Carl Malden. Also starring Michael Douglas. With guest stars James Olsen, Belinda J. Montgomery, Betty Ackerman, Michael Anderson Jr., Robert Euro. Special guest star Robert Walker. Tonight's episode, Asylum.
Looking at the ceiling, I lay floating like a cloud. I floated up, touched the ceiling, and it was gone. Melting in a roaring crowd. I finished, Dr. Hamill.
Lois, that was very good. Do you have another one?
No.
Perhaps tomorrow. Well, I see our reading time is over at any rate. And those of you who are going on the outing tomorrow will need your rest. That will be all for tonight. Thank you.
Susan, I have a small surprise for you. Would you like to see what it is? Come on. It's in my room. Susan, I wondered where you went. Susan, what's wrong? It's Mr. Collins. Help! Somebody help! Help!
Floating like a leaf. A butterfly. That's another good image for you, don't you think?
The manta ray is one of the largest of the family. Over 20 feet, and yet very gentle.
Called a devilfish.
Well, yes, by some. Now let's take a look at the dolphins.
Robert, you're always such a great help. Come on now, try to have a good time, huh? Paul, Susan, let's keep up with the groove.
Susan, it's all right. Here, you hold this till I come back, all right? Don't be afraid. I'll take care of everything.
Paul, come back! Dr. Rapp, Eunice, stay with the group.
just useless. We'd better notify the police.
Excuse me, can I talk to you, please?
Sure.
My name is Paul Bierce. My current address is 300 Lake Street, San Francisco. You'll need that, right?
Why don't you sit down, Mr. Bierce? What can I do for you?
I'd like to report a homicide. It occurred last night about 8:45. Same address.
Last night? Why didn't you come here earlier?
I know it sounds strange, but this is the first chance I've had.
You saw somebody get killed?
Yes. We didn't see who did it, but the victim's name was Max Collins. He was put into a tub and drowned, murdered.
You said we. Who's we?
This girl and I, Susan. Look, I'm not a crank. I just want somebody to know what's going on in there.
I understand. Just take it easy. What is Susan's last name?
Does that matter? She can't tell you anything.
Why not?
Well, because she can't, that's all.
Mr. Bierce, this is Lieutenant Stone. Mr. Bierce is reporting a homicide.
They said it was an accident, but I know it wasn't.
They? Who are they?
Those people where I stay.
That 300 Lake Street? Would that be the Rab Psychiatric Home? You work there? Or are you a patient there?
I came here to tell you a man was murdered. And he's not the only one. There have been others.
No, that's all right, son. Take it easy. Now, let's step in my office and talk this over, shall we?
You think I'm crazy, but I'm not. I thought I could trust you.
No, it's gonna hurt you.
They will, you don't know. No.
Trying to help you, son. Call Dr. Rad.
No, it was him. It had to be. He had the only key.
Who, Dr. Rad?
Yes, he killed him.
You just told me you didn't know who did it, remember?
I know, but it had to be him. It had to be. Please don't send me back. He'll kill me, too.
Please, don't hurt me.
Relax, Paul. Go to sleep. He was doing so well.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I should have watched him more carefully.
It's my fault. I recommended we take him off medication.
It seems we're all culpable. Whatever he saw last night, he shouldn't have. It shouldn't have happened.
Jonas, you're not responsible. The custodian left that door unlocked. He admitted it.
When I questioned him, he was so confused he didn't know what he did. One of us should have checked that door.
Of course.
Dr. Hamill, I'm not blaming you. I know the staff works long, hard hours, but there's simply no excuse for what happened last night.
I don't think turning this place into a prison is the answer.
Killed 3 people.
I can't imagine what set him off. Shall I remove the restraints?
No. I'll do it later. I'll wait until he's fully under.
Gotta tell somebody. I know.
Paul, you can tell me in the morning. Now just go to sleep.
8-1 responding.
8-1, call County Morgue. Victim DOA, probable suicide. Paul William Bierce.
10-4.
Wait a minute, Bierce, that was the guy?
That's the guy who told us that he was going to get killed, and we didn't believe him.
Well, let's get over to the morgue.
Heart measurements. Right ventricle, 0.4. Left ventricle, 1.4 centimeters. Tricuspid, 13.0. Pulmonic, 8. Mitral.
Who reported it?
Dr. Rabb.
Notify the parents?
What kind of tranquilizer was he given?
Pentobarbital, 100 milligrams.
Come on, let's go.
You telling me with all those tranquilizers in his system, he got out of bed and hung himself?
Steve, that's what the doctor says happened.
Well, I don't buy it.
Well, Mike, I checked with the hospital. The old man's drowning was accidental. All the staff doctors agreed.
Well, maybe they had to. Look, there's 2 deaths out there we know about, right? Beer said there could be more.
Yeah. I want to report on every death at the Rabb Institute since it opened. I don't care if the patient was hit with a bolt of lightning. I want that report. And Steve, let's you and I call Lenny Murchison. Maybe he can tell us something about Dr. Rabb.
Just because I'm in the business doesn't mean I know every other shrink in town.
So you're telling me you don't know a thing about Jonas
I didn't
Rabb?
say that. He's only been in the state about 3 years, but his psychiatric journal articles are very impressive, especially for new chemotherapy techniques.
Why are all his patients dying, Lenny? Sawyer's report, 2 other patients dead 6 months apart.
And all certified as natural.
Now, what about Bierce's suicide?
That's typical of a manic depressive. They seem their most rational when they've decided to end it all.
Lenny, have you ever heard of Huntington's chorea?
It's a degenerative nerve disease, fatal.
Right, that's what Max Collins had. He had it in his latter stages. He was catatonic. Now, does it seem likely that he would walk into a room and just drop into a pool?
Unlikely, but possible.
He's been spoon-fed for the last 2 years of his life.
They can have lucid moments, even ambulatory periods, right up to the end. It's the wrong answer for you, huh?
Doesn't help, no.
Oh, look, let me ask you something. What possible motive could Rabb have for killing anyone?
Well, we don't know yet. All the ties we have so far with the patients who died, except for Bierce, is that they were classified as hopeless.
Any complaints from the next of kin?
We're checking that out. Look, I don't know where else to start.
I think I do. Now, Bierce mentioned a girl named Susan. He said she was with him by the time she saw what happened. What happened if I tried to be with her?
Oh, wait a minute now. Are you thinking of going undercover in that mental institution?
Yeah.
Well, now, just between you and me, you're crazy.
Well, then that makes me natural, right? Listen, Lenny, isn't there some way to fake a mental illness, you know, for me to get past admissions?
Why, they'll spot you in 5 minutes.
Paranoia should be the easiest psychosis to imitate, especially for a cop.
Do you think the captain will okay this?
That first evaluation, they'd be looking right down your throat. I think I could fix that.
How?
There's a shot I could give you. It'll put you in fantasy land for at least 12 hours. The effects would be indistinguishable from an amphetamine overdosage.
Well, what kind of effects?
Very unpleasant.
I just didn't know what to do, Doctor.
Mr. Stone.
You see, his folks are still in Europe, and I couldn't leave him alone like that, you know.
Your nephew's going to be in good hands. Don't worry.
Well, I wish I could give you the authority to take care of him, but you know how it is. Dr. Murchison said that it was only temporary.
That's all right. We've got other custodial patients. We'll take good care of him. Don't worry. We'll take good care of him.
do you feel this morning?
How would you feel?
Do you like your room?
Oh, I love it. I just love it. What's all this for?
Routine evaluation.
You're not my doctor.
You like Dr. Murchison?
No. Why should I? He and my uncle got me in here.
All right, Steve. This is called TAT, Thematic Apperception Test. Now, I want you to go through these cards and pick out one and make up a story about it and tell me what it is. Hold it. Now, this one, what do you think it is?
Man pushing a kid.
Well, they're holding out their hands. Maybe they're trying to help him.
They just want you to make you believe that.
Do you think adults are trying to hurt the kid?
Well, somebody's in it for something. Just like you. You want to keep me committed here, don't you?
Why would I want that?
Huh? A little green stuff? A little money I get from my grandfather? And you and my uncle get to keep it.
We're trying to help you.
Come on, doctor. Do I gotta take this now?
No. No, we can do it tomorrow. I'll have Gene Watson take you on the grand tour. Get you settled in.
On the right there is occupational therapy. Down there is the dining room.
You a doctor?
Physical therapist.
You really dig this, don't you?
Look, Henderson. What do you say we have an understanding? I won't try to con you, and you try to learn the one rule we have around here.
Which is what?
Care. Care about others. Care about yourself. Come on, I want to show you something else. This is our rec room. You can read, watch TV, play cards. Dr. Hamill.
Yes.
This is Steve Henderson. I was just showing him around.
Yes. Hello. Is it all right if I call you Steve?
Yeah.
Would you like to meet some of the others?
Yeah, I guess.
Come on. This is Robert. Robert, this is Steve Henderson. Robert's a very fine carpenter.
Yeah, he's very, very friendly, too.
And this is Susan. She's one of our oldest friends.
Who's that?
Oh, that's our other Susan, Susan Howard. Steve, she may not respond. She doesn't to most people.
You mean to me?
No, I don't mean that. According to your records, you were a grade school teacher. So if I tell you that Susan is a schizophrenic, you'll know what I mean. Almost nonverbal. And she's recently had some, well, unpleasantness in her life.
That makes two of us. I can try, can't I?
Yes. Susan, this is Steve Henderson. He's new here, and he'd like to meet you.
That's your radio? That's a nice radio. I used to have one that was just like that.
Oh, Susan, I'm so sorry.
didn't do anything.
It was an accident, Robert.
You stay away from her.
What are you blaming me for? I didn't do anything. You just leave me alone. All of you, just leave me alone.
On October 1st, Peter Collins withdrew $20,000 from savings, 2 weeks before his grandfather died.
What about the Abrams family?
They left the state last year with no forwarding address. But Mr. and Mrs. John Wilcox are still local residents. Her Uncle Henry died last May, and her records show a withdrawal of $10,000 in June.
Mm-hmm. Show him Rab's bank account.
This is a photostat. The hospital account's under the doctor's name. Here the balance goes to almost zero. Then there's a $10,000 deposit. Over here, same thing, and then again, bang, another happy deposit, $20,000.
Withdrawals by the next of kin, deposits by Rab. Now that's motive enough.
What, murder for profit? No way.
Well, you know he's got a prison record in Illinois, don't you?
Yeah, you asked me to check on him, and I did. Mike, he just violated a court order. Look, he ran a halfway house, reintroducing disturbed men and women into society. It was in a residential area like the home he has now, except the patients were free to come and go.
The neighbors must have loved that.
Yeah. So much so they had Rab closed down. He was ordered to vacate and went to jail when he refused. That's how dedicated he was and is.
Is he trying to do the same thing here?
Eventually, yeah, except on a bigger scale.
Well, maybe he bit off a little more than he can chew. Lenny could be a good man, but so far he's the only suspect we have. Sawyer, check out the insurance underwriters. Policies to anyone who died in that hospital.
Hi. May I come in? Listen, I'm sorry about your radio. Maybe I can fix it. Okay, all right. I will not touch it if you don't want me to. I just thought maybe it was a couple of loose wires. Give it a try. I'll bring it back, I promise.
Where did you get it?
Oh, come on, will you?
It's Susan's. You stole it. Now you give it back.
She gave it to me. Why don't you just bug off?
You give it back.
Robert, go to your room. Now.
What's he so strung out about?
Well, he's sort of adopted Susan. Feels protective, you know? He thinks of her as his daughter. Hey, maybe if you think of him as a parent, the two of you would get along better.
As a parent? Are you kidding?
You surprised me, too. I see you're starting to care.
I don't see how I can help you. Wouldn't Dr. Rab be the person to talk to?
Well, not if you don't have any misgivings about your uncle's death.
Misgivings? No, he died in his sleep.
The last time you saw him, how did he look?
Oh, same as he's looked for years. He just sat there in a chair, unseeing and feeling hopeless. Before my uncle got sick, Lieutenant Stone.
That's right, Mike Stone.
He was a wonderful man. When my own father died, he was a second father to me.
And you're satisfied that he was given the best of treatment?
Oh, Dr. Rab was a saint. A saint. He did everything he could. We all did. I have no regrets.
Thank you very much. Oh, I know my way out. Goodbye.
You hurt people. I told you to stop. Stop it. I told you to stop.
Take him to Ward 3.
Let me go. He's a thief. I told him to stop. He was stealing my daughter. I killed him. I killed him. I killed him.
Well, you all right? What were you doing here? Hmm? All right. You just go to bed, all right?
Where do they put him?
In isolation.
I don't like it. I want you out of here.
Come on, stop boring. It'll be all right.
He could have killed you. He's done it before, you know.
Is that why he's in here?
I checked his record. 6 years ago, he was charged with murder, but never convicted.
By reason of insanity.
That's right. You know who he killed?
Oh, but I can guess. He had a daughter. Must have been the boyfriend.
He had a daughter. She was raped by a guy who broke into the house to steal. When the charges didn't stick, he took it upon himself to handle it. I'll bet you that's how he handled Bierce, too.
Which leaves us Max Collins and 2 other guys not accounted for. Yeah, but you don't even care what happens for me, man. You never ever care what happened to me. No, why don't you just bug off?
All right, come on,
just
come on.
bug off!
Maybe it was my mistake, but just sit down here. Come on. Sit down.
I may have something.
What?
When I was in Rab's office, I saw a letter he had written to Mr. and Mrs. Wilcox thanking them for their $10,000 contribution.
Did you see the date?
Yeah. It was almost a month after the uncle died. Well, you got something?
Maybe. Rab's bank account had some unusual peaks. Did you get a chance to talk to that Susan yet?
It's tough, Mike. She's schizoid.
So she doesn't know what she knows.
Well, she knows Paul. If I can just reach her.
Yeah, the killer can, too, so just be careful. Yeah. You know, we're not in control of this situation here. I can't help you. But I certainly can pull the plug.
Yeah, well, you just don't worry about me. You worry about yourself. Just don't worry about me, because when I get out of here, I'm going to see a lawyer, and you're going to wish that you never knew me. That's right. Huh? That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Here. There you go. No. Don't be afraid. Just wanted to talk to you for a while. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. You just listen. To tell you the truth, you're the only one I like here. I really don't have any friends. Do you? Who's Paul? I saw his name scratched on the bottom of the radio. Did he give it to you? But he's not here anymore. You know what happened to him? You know, I met Paul once. Yeah. Came to see a friend of mine, a policeman. You're not afraid of policemen, are you? Well, Paul wasn't either. Except this friend of mine, he's kind of funny looking. Yeah, he's got these big, fat, flat feet, right? And the most huge, enormous stomach. Yeah. He looks like a duck. When he walks, he sort of waddles. He waddles around, just like a duck would waddle, you know? He's really funny, yeah. Yeah. That's the first time I've seen you laugh. It's nice. Let me tell you a secret. All right, if I tell you a secret, you gotta promise to share one with me, all right? What if I told you that I was a policeman? Yeah. I got a badge and everything. No, I do, really. You know, Paul, he told me a secret, too. He told me about an old man named Max. Max Collins. You remember him? Yeah, he had an accident, didn't he? Do you remember where he was? Susan, he was in the water. Who was with him? Was it Dr. Rabb? Susan, who was with him?
Steve, I think you'd better leave.
What are you doing here? Susan, wait a minute. Susan, it's all right. Now look what you've done.
Who are you?
Who are you? Who am I, Doctor? So just leave me alone, will you?
And you say he died of natural causes?
Yes, his heart just stopped beating.
Dr. Rabb told you that.
Lieutenant, the man was 79 years old. What's the big problem?
The problem is his heart didn't stop. It was stopped with an overdose of a drug called digitalis.
What?
How do you know that?
We had his body exhumed with a court order. The autopsy was performed 2 hours ago.
But you had no right to do that.
We had every right to do it. Your uncle was murdered.
That's impossible.
Is it? Or is it possible that you paid Dr. Rabb to do it with a $10,000 contribution?
John?
Nancy?
We also know that you got some money from an insurance policy.
But it wasn't for that. It wasn't for the money.
Nancy, stay out of this. She's not involved at all. Now, Lieutenant, if you're going to charge me with some crime, I think I better call my lawyer.
Mr. Wilcox, 3 other people died in that hospital. All hopeless cases. Now, I'm not going to argue with you whether it was good for them or not. But last week, a young man died in that hospital, and he shouldn't have. He was murdered. He was hanged with a strap around his neck because he was going to tell us what went on in that hospital. Now I've got my partner in there risking his life because he's trying to find out who did the killing. And if he is endangering his life because you won't tell me the truth, well, I am going to throw the book at you and at you.
But you don't understand. We didn't want to hurt anybody.
Nancy, please. But my wife had nothing to do with it at all.
But if it's wrong, we're both wrong.
I made
John,
all the
I want to tell him.
Nancy, don't.
Lieutenant, my uncle begged me before he went into the hospital. He begged me not to waste our lives or our money. The last thing he ever said to me before he died was, let me go. Let me die with dignity. But I couldn't. I just couldn't. So for 3 years, we scraped together every nickel we could find just to keep him alive. And he was nothing but a ghost.
You see, Lieutenant, the old man knew that there was a time for living and a time for dying.
Dr. Rabb chose that time.
But you don't understand. Dr. Rabb took marvelous care of those people.
I want to ask you something. Was it his idea or yours?
Oh, she wasn't even there. And it wasn't Rabb either. It was one of his assistants.
Who?
Mr. Watson.
The physical therapist?
Yes. We were walking in the garden one day, and I told him the situation. I have a sister who was sick and needed an operation she couldn't afford, and believe me, I didn't have enough money for her and Henry. And there wasn't any room in the county hospital, so believe me, I was desperate.
And he said that he could help you out if you brought enough money.
Lieutenant, you just don't understand, eh? The money wasn't for him. It was for the hospital so that it could stay in business, so they could go on helping people who could be cured. Mr. Watson is not a bad man.
Oh, no. He just killed 4 people. He's not bad. He might be a little sick, but not bad.
That's very good, Ray. Very good.
Mr. Watson, would you please come to Dr. Rabb's office?
Well, when will Dr. Murchison be back? All right, just have him call me as soon as he can. Yes, it's an emergency. Why would he do such a thing?
I have no idea. But I have no doubt either that our Mr. Henderson is a police officer.
How can you be so certain?
Jonas, I looked him up in the directory. In addition to his many fine credits, Dr. Leonard Murchison is currently on staff as a consultant to the San Francisco Police Department.
Well, what can he be investigating here?
I think we should ask Mr. Henderson that.
Watson, please bring Steve Henderson to my office.
Yes, sir. Dr. Rabb, is something wrong?
Very wrong, I'm afraid. Just tell him that I'd like to see him in private consultation. Nothing more, you understand?
Yes, sir.
eat your dessert first? Yeah? Here, have mine. That's all right, I don't like chocolate. Listen, when the meal's over, you want to take a walk?
There you are, my favorite two people. Steve, as soon as you're finished, Dr. Rabb would like to see you.
Okay.
Susan, I know you don't like spinach, but you really should eat some. You need the iron. Here, the staff had fruit punch. Go ahead, take it. I know you like it. Maybe it'll help you get the spinach down. Oh, that's all right. It's all right. It's okay.
That for me? Yeah? A little trade for the cake, huh? Thank you.
It's way past that, Murchison. Now, you'll either be candid with me or I'll have you in front of the medical board.
I understand your feelings, Doctor, but...
No. I don't think you do. Now, you sent a man here you knew wasn't ill. And the case history you prepared was an outright lie. Now, what the hell's going on?
Can I get back to you?
No, I want to know right now, is Steve Henderson a policeman?
Did he claim to be?
All right. But I advise you to seek a lawyer, because the next time I see you...
It'll be in court. Can I talk to him, please?
First, I want to know who you are.
Lieutenant Stone, San Francisco Police Department. Lenny, this is Mike. Thanks for trying to cover it up for us. Yes, I know that. I'll try to explain it to you later.
I'd like an explanation myself.
Where's Steve?
He's on his way here. Now, what are you after?
Gene Watson. We're here to arrest him for murder.
What's the matter, Steve?
I don't know why I feel kind of strange.
Are you all right?
You were the one she saw. Who she wasn't, it was you all the time.
You better come with me.
Stay away from me.
Sit down.
Stay away from me!
Come on, Steve.
You're trying to kill me.
Susan! Run! Run!
My sister there.
You told him, didn't you?
Okay, now, Steve. Now take it easy. Now, everything's gonna be okay. Now, come on, Steve.
Steve! Racket! Hallucinating. What does this mean?
Outside courtyard and to the roof.
Is there another way to the roof?
There's another stairway in front.
Come on, take me. Keep me in the courtyard.
Let's go to your room.
Gene, why? Why did you do it?
Well, because I wanted to help, that's all. Help you. Help them, help their families. Well, don't you see, I believe in you, Doctor. I believe in what we can do here. But you needed the money to keep going. That's why I did it. I gave it all to the hospital. It wasn't for me. Well, they were dead anyway.
There are the stairs. I'll watch the door. There he is. Steve. Steve.
Don't worry, I'm okay. I can't believe it. I feel it. No. No. You stay back! You stay back!
Oh my God, he's gonna jump. Steve, listen to me. Steve.
Hello, Fred. You want to join me? Music never stops for you, does it?
With the drug dose that you took, the flashbacks should come less and less frequently until they finally stop.
Well, that's nice to hear.
He's still a little paranoid.
Well, maybe you should spend another week with us.
Where's Murchison? He's the only one I'm talking to.
If you do, will you tell him to stop calling me? Because I'm not going to bring him up on charges, even though I think I should.
Well, we're sorry for the charade, Doctor, but, well, that's the only way we knew how.
Well, I can hardly blame you, but I'm thankful that the hospital is in the clear. I won't forget that. And thanks to you, Susan's coming along quite nicely.
At least I have some idea where she's coming from now. It'll be a pleasure watching her be able to go home. Excuse me.